guys, welcome back to our channel, and this is part 2 of your Unix tutorial. If you haven't gone through part 1, then don't worry, I have already provided the link of part 1 in the description box. Go and have a watch and then come back again. Alright, so in the previous class we have talked about shell. Shell is basically a command line interpreter. It takes the command from the users and interprets them and fetches the output. Now there are different types of shells available, like the Bourne shell, which is denoted as sh and the default prompt is $. Bash shell, which is denoted as bash and the default prompt is also $. And Corn shell, which is denoted as ksh and the default prompt is $. C shell, denoted as csh, default prompt is a %. And Top C shell, which is denoted as tcsh, and the default prompt is a %. So let me show you my shell. I have a bash shell and the default prompt is $. Now there are ways to change this prompt, but by default $ is the default prompt for bash shell, Bourne shell and Corn shell, and for C and T, Top C shell, it's a %. Alright, so now let's come to Unix file systems. So what do you mean by a file? A file could be any text file, like any Word document that you have created, or maybe any picture, maybe your selfie, or maybe some videos or movies that you have stored in your computer. So these are some sort of files. So whatever the user generates in his or her system is a file. But Unix is very unique. For Unix, everything is a file. So what do we mean by that? Like all the peripheral devices, like a printer or CD-ROM or or main memory or monitor, these are all considered as a file. Even the kernel and the shell, these are also considered as a file. So in Unix there are lots of files. So for our ease of understanding, we have divided this different types of files into 3 distinct categories. The first one is the ordinary files. For example, the text files or binary executable files. Text files are those files that are human readable, like maybe a spreadsheet, or maybe you have written some essay in a Word document, etc. Maybe you have written some C or Java code. The source code is written in the text files, right? And some binary executable files, like your image or your selfie or some movies or sounds. These are binary executable files. Binary executable files are not human readable. And then there comes the special files. For example, I have already told that every peripheral device like printer, CD-ROM, main memory, etc., all these are considered as files. So these are called device files. This comes under the category of special files. There are some other files which are stored in the system for smooth functioning of the system. These are also special files. Again, it may happen that in a particular location you have installed some application and you want to access that application from some another location. So for that you sometimes create some shortcuts or links. These are also special files. And then comes the directories. Directory stores ordinary files and special files and some subdirectories. Alright, so how this all files are stored in the system, this total arrangement is called Unix file hierarchy. Let me show you an example. So here this is a rough picture of Unix file hierarchy. As you can see that at the very beginning there is a / which is called the root directory. So every file or directory are stored under the root directory, either directly or indirectly. Like under this root directory, here it is the root directory. Under this root directory there are bin, dev, etc, home, lib, mnt. These are all subdirectories. These are all directories that are stored under the root directory. So root is the parent and bin, dev, etc, home, lib, these are all children of root. So there is a parent-child relationship. Again, under this etc directory there is a password directory. So password directory is the child directory and etc is the parent directory. Now all the device files like the printer or main memory, these are all device files. So all the device files are stored in dev directory. Now when you first time log into your system, you need to give some password. So all the users user ID and password are stored in a directory called passwd password under this etc directory. And when you first time log into your system, you come to your home directory. So under this directory, let me show you my home directory. So how to see what is your home directory? So the command is echo and then dollar and home. So home is a variable which stores my home directory name, and dollar means I am asking for the value of this home variable, and echo means whatever I'm fetching, it is gonna print it on the display. So I want to see the content of this home variable. Home is a special type of variable called environment variable. I shall be talking about these environment variables later, but for now I'll just understand home is an environment variable and it stores my home directory. So this is my home directory. home/srimoy is my home directory. Alright, now I want to see what are the different files and directories that is in my home directory. So for that the command is ls. ls is a short form of list, so it lists all the files and directories that are under my home directory right now. So like a1.txt, a2.txt, file.txt, these are all files, and my dir is a directory. But I want to know more about these files and directories, like who are the owner, how many memory blocks these files and directories are consuming in the memory, and when these files and directories were created, etc. So for that the command is ls -l. ls is the command, -l is a option. If just remember one thing, that every command comes with varieties of options and every option starts with a minus sign. So ls -l is the short form of long list. ls is list and l stands for long, so long list. So see, this is the first column. It gives some, it's associated to some permissions related to this particular file. I shall talk about these permissions later on. The next is the how many memory blocks the file is consuming. The next column shows the owner of the file, like I have created the file. Then there is a group. Now every user in Unix is associated with a group. I shall talk about this group later again. And then how many memory bytes the file is consuming in the memory, and then the time and date, like when the file was created, like this file was created on 5th June at 9:56 am, and the name of the file. Alright, now I have listed all the files that are under this home directory, but there are some other files which starts with a dot. These files are called hidden files and they are not by default shown to the user because of some security reasons. But if you want to see them, then the command is ls -a. A stands for all. Like now you can see that there is a dot bash history, dot bash rc. So these directories or files that start with a dot is hidden files. Now there is a single dot as well. The single dot denotes the current directory. Like for me right now, it's the home directory where I am presently. This is the current directory, and this dot dot is the parent directory, means one directory above my current directory. And this dot bash rc is the configuration file of my bash shell. Okay, in Unix every file and directory all are considered as a file. Now every file has a unique identification number which is called the inode number. Like in a class, every student has a roll number to identify that student in a particular class. Similarly, in Unix file system, every file has a unique identification number which is called the inode number. To check the inode number, the command is ls -i. So for a.txt, the identification number is this, the inode number is this. For file.txt, the identification number is this. Similarly, every file and every directory has its own identification number or inode number. And the tip for today is that, as I have told you, the directory stores the files and other subdirectories, but in general directories do not store the entire file, rather it stores only the file names and inode numbers. Alright, so thank you very much. In the next video we shall be talking more on this file system, and happy learning. Thank you.